This perp back with another video, and I just got done catching up with the first episode of American Horror Season 9, or also known as American Horror Story 1984. Now, I really am a huge fan of American Horror Story and just everything that they bring to the table. Yes, a lot of these seasons are hit or miss to some people, but I think last season was really cool, really interesting and creative, and kind of a return to form. Some other people might have not have liked Apocalypse, but I thought it was pretty damn interesting, to say the least, on how they did that crossover for last season. I thought that was really cool. But anyways, this is pretty much paying homage to the slasher genre with this season, and I have some thoughts about this season. Some good, some meh. But like, comment, subscribe, and let's get right into this video. So it starts off with us being in 1970, and this wouldn't be American Horror Story if you didn't see any type of sex scenes. So at this camp, these kids are having like these teens, I should say, are having this fucking threesome. And this is where shit just gets really creative to me. I like the way that they shot this. It felt like you were watching something in like the 70s or 80s, with the filters they were using. But the opening to this was really cool. You just see all these people just slaughtered and laid out in this cabin. Really dope intro. Speaking of the intro, I really liked this remix 80s vibe of the of the intro of the American Horror Story intro. So then we get introduced to all the characters that we're going to be following within the series: Brooke, Montana, Ray, Xavier, and Chet. And there are your typical kind of characters, but I feel like there's a lot more to their characters, because a lot of them seem like they're hiding something. I don't know what that is, but our main character, Brooke, she's kind of socially awkward a little bit, and she's not really, I'm not gonna say friendly, but she's not like the group of people that she runs into, and so our story pretty much begins with Xavier coming up with this idea that, he has this counselor job and he wants everybody to come with him so they can get out of LA for a while and make money doing it. So, Brooke is still kind of on the fence, but I feel like when I was watching it, she was automatically going to join them. So we back at Brooke's house. She kind of gets her house invaded by this dude. I think they call him the Night Stalker or something like that. Xavier was pretty much talking about him earlier in the episode. But yeah, that was kind of intense. It was a little bit random, but who knows where that's gonna go. So they head up on the road, and Brooke is kind of shooken up because the guy told her I'm gonna come find you and I'm gonna kill you. And Montana is pretty much trying to calm her down, and they make this pit stop at this creepy ass gas station. Like I said, I swear they're really paying homage to like slashers, because this is a trope in slasher films that you never should stop at these creepy ass places. Even Xavier gets like this weird call, like he calls his voicemail or something like that, and he just gets this weird message and whatnot, and people always ignore the signs and warnings. This guy here, he tells them you shouldn't go to Camp Redwood, you're pretty much all gonna die, and they ignore that like a typical horror slasher format. So they head off back onto the road. Xavier gets pretty much distracted smacks this dude like on some "I know what you did last summer." They think he's dead, but he's not. So they put him in the car and they head to the camp. And this is where we're introduced to the nurse and the person that reopened this camp, which she's kind of suspicious. Also, this whole camp is pretty suspicious. We get this little campfire scene where the nurse is pretty much telling you the backstory of Mr. Jangly, the Jangly man, or the killer. Before she could continue, I think her name is Margaret or something like that. She pretty much tells the kids the actual story, that she was like a survivor, which is also a red flag, in my opinion. I think there's more to her character. So the dude that they hit, he wakes up and he sees that his ear is missing and he's kind of freaking out. Brooke goes to go check on him, and he has like this like razor on him or something like that, or a scalpel, and he puts it away. But Brooke lets him know where he is at and tells her that he's at Redwood. Then he starts freaking out, saying, "You have to leave. You guys gotta dip." So Brooke goes back to the cabin to tell everybody what happened and whatnot, and everybody's pretty much looking at Brooke crazy. Then we get introduced to another new character named Trevor, somebody that Montana's digging. And so we get this scene where Montana and Trevor are going out swimming. That was kind of choppy, kind of weird how that transition kind of went through, but she sees a car and stops what she's doing. Then we get this scene of all these insane asylum patients like just dipping, escaping. It reminded me of like Rob Zombie's Halloween, but the dude that escapes, and we get introduced to this psychiatrist. I'm assuming that she's a psychiatrist of some sort. The killer has escaped at this point, and gets this little first kill on the dude that you saw earlier at that weird gas station. He's dead. He's dead as fuck, bro. He dropped the whole car on him. But anyways, back to the cabin. They're all watching like the Olympics, and for some odd reason, Chet kind of gets his feelings and starts being an asshole and fucks up Ray's hand, and Ray's hand's pretty much opened up like a gash. So while the jangly man or jangle man, whatever the fuck you want to call him, I hate that name. I really hate that name. Whoever picked that name, you need to be fired. But anyways, he arrives at the camp. While that's going on, Brooke goes to check up on Ray, make sure he's okay, and says, "I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get some medicine to clean up that cut." So she goes to the infirmary, or whatever you want to call it, and she sees that the guy that they hit is dead, and she also has an encounter with the killer. She's able to get away. I don't know why she trips so many times in this. It's ridiculous, but she was able to get away. Everybody's looking at her crazy. So they go to the infirmary where she was at just to pretty much look around. They don't find anything, and it pretty much just makes Brooke look kind of crazy. Even though I think people will get word that there was a mental patient that escaped from that asylum, or whatever you want to call it, the nut house. So everybody goes back to their rooms and whatnot, and everything goes kind of back to normal, this was kind of weird the way this ended. She's all cleaned up. There's like a phone that rings. She wants to go check it out. I don't know why. You were just outside and you almost with a killer. Why the fuck would you want to go back out there? But either way, I enjoyed this episode. I still think that this season overall is going to be very fun and entertaining. What do you guys think in the comments below? Let me know. I love the style, the music. The music was awesome in this, and I just can't wait to see how the rest of the season's gonna play out. But until next week, I'm gonna have to check y'all out later. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll check y'all out later. Peace.
What made that comedian different from that comedian? And it was the strength, the inner strength, the style, the confidence they had, not being afraid to fail. And if I could transcend that to a lot of people, whatever, it might not be comedy, it might be in the workplace, to give them that drive. That's when I Ain't Scared of You came from. You know, you can't be afraid.